Oh, welcome back my gardening friends. Well, it's Saturday the 27th of January 2023. We've had some wood chips delivered and we've got a few bits in there. I've got those beds to finish clearing up and replant some strawberries. We'll show you the strawberries shortly. It'll be nice to get some fresh wood chips down here to help show where my fruit bushes are. I found this gigantic filter. I presume the unscrupulous growers use to hide the smell. I'm going to be opening that up this week, and it does help when you know you're getting some wood chips. You can clear everything up and get everything ready, and one of the tasks will be to undo the green strops and tie in all these summer fruit in raspberries. So I managed to get enough wood chips from the pile to put some here. They're about 6 inches deep again, and move all my compost to here. And there's probably 1500 litres here we've got left out of that 3800 we found, and we need to get this area up here levelled out, tidied up. We can top it off with wood chips then. The strawberries aren't looking very happy, so we will be having a dig down to see if we've got vine weevil. They seem to get worse as we go. Whether that's because of the restricted light that we've already spoke about when I stacked quite a few bits on top of the framework, but we'll see. And I need to weed this so that the spring bulbs can come out. As you can see, the runners have run from that bed. I need to pull those out, but these do look a little bit better. But I do need to sort out the good from the bad. And the first of the snowdrops are coming out. Do like to weed as I go. They do look nice, and especially when they open up. No damage on my allotment after the 2 storms. The lid has just disappeared over to there, so not a massive problem. Good preparation will help to make sure we don't get any expensive damage. So I've been having a little play in this corner. I won't be disturbing this area here because when we first started #starting a new allotment, all this was created for the wildlife, so we shan't disturb it now while they're hibernating or just having a rest. But I have cut all that hedge back, which has opened this all up. This lid on my wormery was catching it, and then we find all this stuff. Bit of a sieve there, an old fire guard that we can now maybe use to make another sifter. Some more fine mesh there, and then the disposable greenhouses, the ones that we buy, that the covers come off, disappear, break down. I've got quite a few of those racks I need to pop away, and we're collecting and making sure we take some rubbish home with us today. But I will dismantle this, and I'll be pulling out all the guttering that I've got to see what I want and what I don't want. This will give my fellow plot holders on this site a little bit of guttering to play with. All I've got to do with this is lift this up. I shall lift that post up so that the water falls that way, put a connector in there, join it together so all the water goes onto this setup here to those tanks there, and then I can start using this soil to fill these galvanised tanks and any other beds that I create here. which will be in the shade of the holly bush. We're facing north at the moment, sorry, south, so none of this will get any sunshine, which will hopefully be good for the lettuce and some of the other salad crops that tend to go to seed quite quickly. We've got the hose pipe, so there's no excuses now to cut these barrels, and you can see what happens with those pipes. They do kink. Everything's full, as you'd expect after all that rain that we've had. We clear a space nicely and then we end up having it as a dumping ground. I think everybody's got one of those. Hopefully I'll be able to find new homes for everything. The green manures have perked up now after those -8 frosts and solid ground that we had for quite a few days. And as we move round the corner to the Bocking 14 comfrey, doesn't that look better now? I've got rid of all those black bags. I can actually get around, and we've started filling this with fresh manure. This will be used in 2025, and this one will be used in the autumn and spring. So autumn of 24 into spring 25, and it's rotting down nicely and producing some lovely black gold still. It will dry up eventually. So as we move on to plot 3, all the wood chips are down now. 4 hours of hard graft, 2 hours on the Saturday afternoon last weekend and 2 hours on the Sunday morning. And other than a few leaves that have been blown off some of the beds, that's the asparagus bed, no harm done to anything, but lots of beds to fill. These are all my current cuttings: gooseberry, summer fruiting raspberries. There's the comfrey at the back there that was growing in one of my potato containers, and here's some of the gooseberries that we took cuttings from last autumn or the autumn before. I've pruned them back. They'll be ideal as replacements or to give to my fellow allotmenteers here on this site. Now the wood chips are down. It's looking nice and tidy for now. I may not feed the birds on this allotment because of the rats, but because of the wood chips, they're there scratching around, so they're happy. And look at the difference in the field beans after those -8. They were absolutely looking sickened, and you just would not believe how well they've come back. We did point out that shoot there, that's doubled in size. That there won't cut it, so I shall cut it, and then that will continue to grow, draw nitrogen from the atmosphere, pop it down into its roots, and then if you chop and drop that before they flower, you're trapping all that nitrogen in the soil, which your plants can feed on. Garlic, that's the elephant garlic. The red Russian is now all coming up. These were planted in the autumn. So don't panic if you don't see it straight away. I've had a little play with the long root structure here, making it a little bit easier, making sure, not like last year when we put the irrigation on, all the compost slid out and ended up in the pond below. So hopefully that will work better this year for the giant long roots. And while we've got access and a little bit of light to the pond underneath the long roots, so I don't waste any space, we'll get some of that green matter took out and any weeds pulled out and stand everything back up again. These are just bits and bobs that I've collected out of skips or what Mrs. K's doesn't want anymore. The rats have found my potatoes, but they haven't found my carrots, so we'll take that. You've previously seen the new long roots structure in the polytunnel, and I've reused those wheelie bins, the little baby ones. That's a better system. There's my condors in there, hopefully they haven't been frosted. Any potatoes that did start to grow, just in the middle of the screen there, look, they got frosted back. But I've got enough potatoes to keep me going through till those nice new potatoes will be ready that are in the grow room at home. And on a previous video we tidied up all the wood. I've got a little bit in the shed to the left, but other than that, that's everything that I need. I don't use it very often, but when you do, you need to have a little bit of a selection. You don't want to have to be buying any wood. There's lots of good quality timber thrown away in skips. You've just got to go and ask. I just forgot to say that I bought new guttering for the long roots, because it's been very difficult to find anybody local that's having theirs changed. But I used the winnings from the Giant Vegetable Show from 2022 to purchase those. And of course, a thank you to everyone who watches my videos from the start right through to the end. I do really appreciate it, so that I can treat myself now and again. I planted some of my surplus elephant garlic on the 22nd of October. Some of it started to show now. I just planted a few because I wasn't sure whether my other bed of garlic was going to do any good or not, or whether it would go rotten because of this weather. But that looks fine. I see the plastic's blown again. I need to put that down. We don't want the carrots getting wet. We're about halfway down now. We'll do a reveal or a vegetable harvest shortly. I need to tidy this bed up now. The kale, I think I've had everything I'm going to get off that now. We can tidy the bed up, and we can help ourselves to some more of the Brussels sprouts. And as you can see, by taking the tops out and taking the best bits off first, they haven't blown, but if you leave all the tops on, they tend to blow. I left this uncovered on the cold spell, and the pigeons stripped off all the green. That won't affect the sprouting broccoli, but I think the frost, it might come back, but I think it's time to tidy up. And I forgot to cover my parsnips up when we was doing the parsnip box. We'll grab that big one today for Sunday's dinner, with the rest of the things that I'm going to reveal now. Nice and quick, because I don't want to bore you. But of course everybody likes to see a potato reveal, because I get told off if I don't show them. Charlotte, 2 seeds. They were probably planted in March 2023. They could be frosted, we don't know. You can always tell. Doesn't look too bad for now. The compost is just slightly damp, not wet, not dry. That keeps the potatoes nice and fresh. They're slightly soft, but by the time they've gone in the steamer, they'll be absolutely fine. Some of them there might be just a bit old, or they've got a touch of frost on them. You can cut all that out. You can't beat fresh. There's good ones there, so they'll always make good compost. These are the cloth bags that the unscrupulous growers dump, and this is my homemade compost that we made February last year. from the wormery bin, and the potatoes. Finish it off nicely. Any bits of manure in there and any other vegetation, and that will be sifted later on to take back home. But we'll have enough out of a dinner for that, for me and Mrs. K. And of course we can't take them home dirty, so we'll have a little bit of toilet brush action. That's better to leave the soil here than take it home and block the sink up. Well, we're certainly getting some nice veg still towards the end of January 2024. We've got a few sprouts there, and some of these have dropped off, so first excuse me moment of 2024. Never look inside, you never know what you might be eating. Ooh, very nice. So I've put that compost into one of these bins. This is the cocoa coir bin. I've opened the front up now because we're getting down that slowly. This is the rest of my leaf mould out of the end bin, and there we have the compost with the added perlite that gets thrown away. We've just added that potato compost to there. Found a couple of more potatoes. That one there will produce a massive crop if you let it, so we need to make sure we get it all out. And if you missed the wood chip video, we get wood chips like that, and then after 4 years you end up with something like this. And to help me, I scooped up quite a few of the 3 to 4 year old wood chips before I laid all the wood chips on plot 3. So I'm going to be filling this bin now. We haven't got the leaf mould. We haven't sifted that this year because of time constraints. Well, I bet you know which carrot Skylar's going to be having. He always knows, he can always smell them. But thank you very much for everyone's support. Thumbs up or a thumbs down before you go today, please, if you don't mind, and leave me a comment if you're able. And why not consider subscribing? It doesn't cost anything. Depends if you want to put up with me rattling on. I'm going to crack on with some more jobs now, record where I can, and we'll catch up with you another time. Happy gardening to you all. Till next time, my friends. Ta-ra for now.